My name is Amy, a girl who came to Los Angeles with dreams of making it big. To save on expenses, I found a shared apartment online and moved in with my white male roommate, Jack. When I first met Jack, he was tall, handsome, with deep blue eyes and golden curly hair. He always wore a charming smile, giving off a sunny and cheerful vibe. After moving in, Jack was very warm and helpful, carrying my luggage and giving me a detailed tour of the apartment. We got along well, sharing funny stories from our lives and occasionally cooking together. I began to feel that I was lucky to have such a roommate. However, it didn't take long for strange things to start happening. One day, I came home to find that my room's drawer had been rummaged through, and some important documents seemed to have been moved. My first suspicion fell on Jack, but when I confronted him, he looked genuinely innocent and swore he hadn't done anything. Seeing his sincere expression, I began to doubt myself. Maybe I was overthinking it. As time went by, Jack started frequently bringing different girls home, and the apartment was often filled with loud noise, which disturbed me. I politely asked him to be more considerate, but he brushed it off, and continued with his behavior. Things got worse when I noticed some of my personal items, like jewelry and cash, mysteriously disappearing. This time, I was sure Jack was behind it. I confronted him angrily, but he denied everything and accused me of slandering him. We had a huge argument, and our relationship became very tense. To catch him in the act, I secretly installed a camera in the living room. A few days later, I reviewed the footage, and sure enough, I saw Jack sneaking into my things and taking my wallet when I wasn't home. I confronted him with the footage, and he had no excuse. He admitted to stealing my belongings. I thought this would be the end of it and was ready to call the police and have him face the consequences. But just then, Jack suddenly began to cry and pleaded with me, claiming he had no choice. He was drowning in a huge debt, being pursued by loan sharks, and had resorted to stealing to pay off the money. Seeing him in such a pitiful state, I softened and decided to give him one last chance, asking him to pay me back and move out as soon as possible. Jack seemed to be genuinely trying to change. He found a part-time job and worked long hours. Slowly, I began to let my guard down, and life seemed to return to normal. However, one weekend evening, I suddenly heard loud arguing coming from Jack's room. Curious, I eavesdropped and overheard Jack and a man discussing a terrifying plan. They were going to kidnap me and demand ransom from my family to pay off Jack's debts. I was terrified, unable to believe my ears. It turned out that Jack had never truly repented. He had been acting all along. I quietly returned to my room, locked the door, and quickly called the police. The police arrived swiftly and arrested Jack and his accomplice. I was finally rid of this terrifying white male roommate. But after all the drama, I felt exhausted and afraid. What I thought would be a simple money-saving roommate situation had turned into a whirlpool of lies and danger. In the future, will I ever be able to trust anyone again? In this unfamiliar city, how will I start over and protect myself?